Dear friends, welcome to another episode of The Informant. Today, we're diving into a critical geopolitical move, Vladimir Putin's plans to overthrow the Armenian government, and why the Kremlin is so fixated on achieving this. But before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. On Wednesday, September 18th, the Armenian Prosecutor General's office released a statement revealing an investigation that led to the arrest of 6 Armenians and 1 Russian, all accused of attempting to seize power in Armenia. According to the investigation, these Armenians were recruited and taken to Russia, where they underwent advanced weapons training at a military base. They were paid monthly salaries of 220,000 rubles, approximately 2,377, and were subjected to background checks and polygraph tests to ensure their loyalty. After their training at the Arbat military base in Rostov-on-Don, southern Russia, they returned to Armenia with a mission to recruit, train, and organize armed cells with the goal of targeting the Armenian government. These 6 individuals were part of a much larger Russian plan, initially involving hundreds of Armenians across multiple cells, who in the next phase would form a small army aimed at toppling the Armenian government, led by Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, and replacing it with a pro-Russian puppet loyal to Vladimir Putin. Relations between Armenia and its historic ally Russia have deteriorated significantly since Moscow invaded Ukraine in February 2022. Armenia froze its participation in the CSTO, a Russian-led military alliance, sent humanitarian aid to Kyiv, and held joint military exercises with U.S. forces. Meanwhile, Armenia's longtime rival, Azerbaijan, has been forging closer ties with the Kremlin, with President Ilham Aliyev hosting friendly talks with Putin in Baku just last month. Moscow has accused the EU of encroaching on its self-declared sphere of influence by signing partnership agreements with Armenia's government. But why is Putin so intent on ousting Pashinyan? The relationship between Russia and Armenia goes back nearly 200 years, beginning in 1828 when the Russian Empire annexed part of present-day Armenia after defeating Persia. In 1917, amid the chaos of the Russian Revolution, Armenia declared independence, only to be invaded and conquered by Soviet Russia in 1920, leading to the establishment of the Armenian Soviet Socialist Republic. Despite a strong desire for independence, Armenia didn't fully escape Soviet control until a 1991 referendum, officially becoming the Republic of Armenia in December of that year. For nearly 2 centuries, Russia maintained tight control over Armenia. Even after the fall of the Soviet Union, Moscow treated Armenia as part of its sphere of influence. While Armenia gained independence, Russia continued to exert significant control over the country's economy, energy, and military. Most of Armenia's international trade is conducted with Russia or its allies. The majority of its imported energy comes from Russia, and nearly all of its military systems were acquired from Russia. Additionally, Armenia and Russia are both members of the CSTO, alongside Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. This deep integration worked well after the Soviet collapse, first under Boris Yeltsin in the 1990s and later under Vladimir Putin from 2000 onwards. However, the relationship began to unravel in 2020 during the Second Nagorno-Karabakh War. That conflict was a continuation of the 1994 war, in which Armenia had emerged victorious over Azerbaijan, gaining control of the Nagorno-Karabakh region. After years of preparation, Azerbaijan launched a massive offensive in September 2020, resulting in Armenia's defeat and Azerbaijan's recapture of much of Nagorno-Karabakh. Though Armenia suffered a defeat, the unrecognized Republic of Artsakh, established in Nagorno-Karabakh, continued to exist. However, Russia refrained from directly intervening to defend its ally, opting instead to broker peace talks. Following the November 10, 2020 ceasefire, Russia sent peacekeepers to the region to prevent further fighting. But on September 20, 2023, Azerbaijan launched a new offensive, expelling Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh entirely and dissolving the Republic of Artsakh, forcing over 120,000 Armenians to flee. For Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, This was the final straw. He publicly accused Putin of abandoning Armenia in its time of need. In several post-defeat statements, Pashinyan referred to Putin as an unreliable ally. He suspended Armenia's participation in the CSTO and announced that his country would seek new defense partnerships abroad. Pashinyan even held joint military exercises with the US and other Western armies, further angering Putin. The Kremlin quickly labeled Pashinyan as a Western puppet, portraying him as a threat to Armenia's future. Earlier this Wednesday, Pashinyan doubled down on Armenia's shift toward the West. He declared, "If we see a realistic possibility of becoming a full member of the European Union, we won't miss that opportunity." This is precisely why Putin is so determined to remove him from power. If you value independent journalism and want to support our work, consider buying us a coffee through the QR code on the screen. Your contribution is essential for us to continue bringing quality analysis and information. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest analyses and insights on the world's most urgent geopolitical issues.